From Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, it's the final round of the 1998 AMA Supercross season. Hello everyone, Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Marty Reed, present to bring you all the bar-to-bar action. Here's a reminder of the qualifying procedure. The top 4 riders from each qualifying heat transfer directly to the main event, with the top 5 from the semis getting the honor of making the main as well. And then the first 2 finishers from the last chance qualifier finish out the 20-rider 250 field. Here in heat number 1, Doug Henry. It was right here in Las Vegas that Doug made Supercross history. He rode his Yamaha to the first 4-stroke victory in Supercross action.
We came out here just kind of hoping, you know, we didn't know. Nobody knew. You know, I had high hopes because on our test track, it's a pretty hard, slippery track, and I felt really comfortable on it. But that's on a track that I'm really comfortable at. It's not at a new track that I need to learn all the jumps and get my timing down. So, you know, when we came out here, like I said, we didn't know what to expect. So, came out here, won my heat race. I said, boy, if I could just do that again in the main event, I think I can win this thing. Got another great start, and you know, led wire to wire, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it again this year.
That was a great win last year, David Bailey.
Well, it was amazing, really. I mean, a lot of people felt like the 4-stroke would be competitive here and there, but boy, he proved it could be competitive on a hard, slick track. That's what we're looking at here tonight. As it dries out, he might be able to make a 2 for 2.
32nd board is up. Michael PICHON in this one, along with Henry, Michael Craig, Lamson, Matasevich. His very first victory, his only 250 victory, was right here in Las Vegas. Back in 1990, the very first Supercross staged in Las Vegas. Pedro Gonzalez also in this one. Then we've got 4 arena cross riders. Grayson Goodman, Brad Woolsey, Cliff Palmer. Palmer's been looking well in the mid-pack. Also Michael Jones as the board goes sideways. Who will get the whole shot here in our first qualifying heat? They're off and rolling. Lamson to the inside. It's PICHON, number 16 of Team Suzuki, getting the whole shot. But right there, 2 Hondas. Michael Craig. Craig should be good in his hard pack. Steve Lamson takes the lead. PICHON to the inside, looking like a dirt tracker. Coming through the corner, David.
PICHON did look good. I like what Lamson did. I don't know if he meant to, but he had to go just outside of the groove into that loam. Kept a perfect power slide through it, able to hold off that position over PICHON.
Lamson, PICHON, Craig getting harassed right now.
Boy, Craig is really good on a track like this. Looked pretty good in practice. PICHON, though, yesterday had the fastest lap times unofficially.
17 Lamson, PICHON, and then you've got number 13, Craig, but right behind him is Grayson Goodman, the arena crosser, number 60. And then Doug Henry, number 19, passes Grayson Goodman. Remember, the top 4 get the transfer to the main event, so Henry now has moved into the 4th position with Goodman and no, it's Jeff Matasevich right there battling then with Goodman. He passes him into 5th. So the battle for the bubble right now, David, would be Matasevich versus Henry. I don't think Jeff can catch up with him.
I don't think so. Jeff was able to work his way around, and he's got that 4-stroke a lot more dialed in this year than he did last year as Craig makes a move.
Craig getting it by PICHON, and so the 2 Hondas out in front now. Steve Lamson, Team Honda. Michael Craig, Honda of Troy. Team Suzuki's Michael PICHON trying to come back now on Craig.
That section they're just getting through right there. The leader, Lamson's tripling. Also Henry's tripling. That's what allowed him to close in on this battle for second so fast. Really tight track. I like what they've done with it though, Art. I mean, with the limited space here at the stadium, they have really gotten interesting out there with the track lanes, and they've got a few new obstacles we'll get to look at a little closer later on.
With Lammy pulling the lead, we're looking at 3rd and 4th right now, PICHON and Henry. On a track like this, does it make a big difference, David Bailey, to get one better gate selection? In other words, this battle right here, Henry and PICHON.
I don't know that it does, Art. Normally it would, but I think what we're going to see is the whole shot come from any number of like about 10 spots. So as long as you're up there and qualifying straight out of the heat, you should have a pretty good pick to the main on the gate.
PICHON, number 16, has had some good starts this season, but the finishes, the end result has not been there.
He had a really good race going. Lamson getting all sideways. It's very slick, but he's pushing it. He had PICHON, that is, had a great opportunity to maybe win St. Louis. He pulled away. It looked like he was gone, and he got a little tired.
Back to our leader, Steve Lamson. He was injured for the first 4 races of the season. The last 4, though, he's shown improvement that many expected to this season. A 13th, a 9th, then a 5th, and a 4th, his best of the year in the last race.
Looking at Lamson right here, he's getting some pressure now from behind. Henry's changed the complexion of this battle.
Henry moves by number 16, Michael PICHON. Henry now might put pressure on Michael Craig before the end of this heat race.
That's the section where he's making up the time. Making it up a little bit here and there, but he's making a lot up in that straightaway leading up to the finish. That's a good place to make up time. I always say that, but it's a great place to have a good line in your pocket.
So Lamson still our leader. Lammy with control has a 2.5-second lead on Michael Craig. Looks like Craig is picking up a little bit now with Henry on his tail.
Well, he can hear that crowd. He's going, something's going on back there. I better get on the move and start thinking about Lamson and not worry about it.
You know, Jeremy told me about Dallas. He said, I never heard Lust coming. All I heard was that 4-stroke. Here's the battle on again. Henry, a crowd favorite, moves into second.
Well, now you can bet Lamson's wondering what's going on, and he makes a mistake.
And look at that. Henry now in the lead. The crowd going crazy. 40,000 here in Las Vegas. Can Lammy hold on to second place? PICHON moves into third. Those 4 are the qualifiers. They don't want to mess each other up either. Here's Michael Craig. He jumps by Michael PICHON. Back and forth we go.
Well, I can tell you it is so much fun to be in a battle like this. You just never know which way it's going to go, but I can tell you this, Henry caught and passed them all, so it looks to me like he's going to take off.
Michael Craig to the inside on Lammy. He goes into second place. Lammy comes right back and takes it back again. Oh, what a great qualifying round here in Las Vegas.
I was just about to say, I thought that Honda would have to be pleased with Lamson carrying the flag without Lusk here leading that thing, but Henry is too much for him right now.
Craig, number 13, losing momentum in the whoops. PICHON now behind number 17, takes a leap in front of Lammy, number 17. So PICHON now in third.
Still close enough to get Craig in his final laps.
The conclusion of heat number 1 coming up from Las Vegas. Welcome back to a qualifying round, an exciting one. Doug Henry on the 4-stroke, the winner here last year. You just heard his comments earlier about his historic victory. It wasn't his first Supercross victory, but it was the first 4-stroke victory in the history of the sport. And he's taking off right where he left off here in Las Vegas.
Well, I've said before on the shows that if you can come back to a place where you've won before, it always feels good, and you just expect yourself to go out and get those results. There's the triple I was talking about. No one else has been able to do that consistently, and he's just opening it up every lap. He's also proven here on a very tight racetrack that you can pass.
White flag, final lap here in the opening heat. Right now it's clear cut the 4 players who will go on to the main, as they've got a great lead, but in what order? Well, that's what we don't know yet.
Well, PICHON just running right up the inside, taking the line away from Craig up to the triple, takes over that spot and pulls away. You got to wonder what's going through Lamson's head, because he was out there looking great, and all of a sudden finds himself way out of the hunt. 4.
PICHON hurt his wrist in a casing crash in the last race, and it was one he broke several years ago, and it's a little tender, but he certainly has showed what he's made of, moving into second place here with a white flag soon to turn to checkers for Doug Henry. Henry, PICHON, Craig, and Lamson on their way to the main event. And so Marty Reed will be talking with Doug Henry on the victory podium, and Jeremy McGrath will lead the riders in heat number 2 when we return. Welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Boy, did we start out with an exciting first qualifying heat as Doug Henry, the heat winner, followed by PICHON, Craig, and Lamson advancing to the main event. Let's go down to Marty, who's with Doug.
Yes, and before the start of tonight's race, you and I talked about you like this hard-packed track for this 4-stroke, and boy, it showed.
Yeah, it's really slippery out there. They added a lot of water, and it should be good by the main event. It was a little bit slippery this time, but the bike works good out there.
Nice smile on your face. You really like it here. Winning last year and coming back with this win?
Yeah, I'm just having a lot of fun. I can't wait, for the main event. I want to go out there and win it really bad.
Well, let's go to find out who's going to win Heat 2, guys.
Okay, Marty. As we get set for Heat number 2, Jeremy McGrath, of course, in this one with the title already tucked away. Jeremy has relieved the pressure that he felt before Dallas and has dedicated this season to all those who doubted him, those who claimed he was over the hill.
This championship is basically a point proven to myself and to especially to the people that had written Jeremy McGrath off. I mean, a lot of people were saying, oh, he's old and he can't do it again and he's washed up and all this stuff. And, I think this championship is more dedicated to those people. Those are the people that flip sides like as air. And, I've had a lot of loyal fans, but all the people that were saying those things and stuff like that, that's what makes it so sweet.
Art Ekman, David Bailey, Marty Reed, Jeremy McGrath certainly has shown everyone, and it'd be interesting to see his performance. He really ripped it up in practice, David.
He looked pretty aggressive, and I think Jeremy's attitude this year is a little bit different than it's been in the past. This is always a race where he'd already pretty much things were decided, and the same as this year, but I don't think he came in as motivated. This year he really wants to win it again, and each race that he wins, it puts that record out there a little further for anybody to come up and try to beat.
Looking for his 52nd Supercross victory here tonight. Jeremy McGrath is joined by Larry Ward as the board goes sideways. Mike LaRocco, Jimmy Button, Michael Brown, Jean-Sebastian Waugh, Buddy Antunez, the Arena Cross champion. Qualifying heat number 2 is underway. Waugh, number 80, out in front. Cuts across the line. Oh, it's really close as McGrath on the inside. It's Larry Ward, number 4. But out in front, Michael Brown, number 100 of Honda of Troy. Larry Ward takes the lead away from Brown. What a battle we've got in third with McGrath. Knocking bars with Antunez, the Arena Cross champion. Antunez now in 4th, David.
It's a great move, too, Art, that McGrath put on those guys.
Oh, McGrath through the whoops all the way.
I was about to say, this guy is so cool and so clever in the opening laps of a race, and then we just saw why. He just finds an opening and goes for it.
Button going down in the whoops during that melee, so it's Jeremy McGrath trying to prove a point here in the heat round with Brown still in 2nd place. In 3rd place, it's Buddy Antunez with Larry Ward in 4th. And so Waugh has moved back to 5th. And Jeremy McGrath now leading the freight train.
As far as I'm concerned, Artie already proved it. He can just go gamble now. I mean, it's unbelievable to see. He jumped the triple right here on the first lap. He was sandwiched between Waugh and Antunez, passed them both through the mechanics area, and then went right through everybody in the whoops. His ability to find an opening and see what's going on around him and make that adjustment through the whoops is just amazing.
Okay, but the first 4 and 5 pretty well defined. Let's turn to Gary Becker, who just straight up in the booth. And Gary, of course, with Pace Motorsports. And gosh, Gary, you're the head of this all right now, and you've seen a terrific crowd time and time again, but you've got to be just pumped about the ABC ratings, national television for the first time in decades.
Oh, we're about as pumped as can be. Our ratings were a 3.5, which is, we were happy with the 2.0. And we're right up there with Major League Baseball and everybody else. So I think we proved our point, and we're looking for next year and some more racing.
I think the fans are anxious to get your call on what you expect out of network television in the future. What would you like to see?
I want to see it all. I think we deserve it. I think we've earned it. We're getting more and more respect as time goes by, and we're there. It's our time. It's our time, and we're ready to go after it.
Your philosophy now, as far as looking toward the future, as far as the rider standpoint, as far as the team standpoint.
We want to grow this sport. We want to grow the fan base. We want to mature some of these young men that are racing these motorcycles. We want more Kevin Windhams out there. We want the showmanship out there. We want it all. This sport deserves it. It's been around for 25 years now, and it's our turn.
Gary, thanks for dropping by. Congratulations, too, on your leadership in bringing the sport like it has, taking advantage of the great talents of these riders and getting it in front of the public. That's a big key, Gary.
There's no question. There's a lot of people behind us, and we appreciate everybody's help.
Pace Motorsports doing the job in Supercross. Here's our leader, Jeremy McGrath.
Coming up to the triple, and each time he comes to the triple, the fans are on their feet. He's cut the lap times down to 53.8, under 54, which was pretty much what everyone was running in practice. He's on fire, and you can see that he's having a lot of fun in doing it.
Well, this would be amazing if Buddy Anthonez can hold on to the final qualifying spot in his first Supercross heat try of the year. We'll be right back to see if he can do it.
He came to the United States a three-time world motocross champion, looking for a challenge. And boy, did he get one.
I found to hang with the guys and keep the speed up, I was going over my limits, and that's why I ended up getting hurt so much. I'm the kind of person who really likes a challenge, and I think I've got myself one racing in the US here. But through winning 8 championships, I've only raced with the number 1 plate twice. And that kind of shows that I like a new challenge. You know, once I've done something, once I've achieved my goal, I like to move on.
It wasn't just the physical injuries that haunted Greg Albertine's effort in America. It was the mental side as well.
When you're winning, everything fits into place. Everything is easy. Even the biggest problem becomes the smallest problem. But when you're not winning, the smallest problem becomes the biggest problem. And it feels like you're drowning. And to get yourself out of that rut is very, very tough. And, but you know, it comes back to a bad day at the motocross track is even better than a good day at the office.
A young man of lesser conviction would have smiled, taken the money, and gone home. That is not Albie's way of doing things.
I think desire is a big part of it, never giving up. And that also stems back to desire. If you want something bad enough, and generally if all the other variables are going to fit in line with that, you're going to get what you want. When I won my first world championship, it was the most amazing feeling to describe. I mean, everything you've ever worked for, everything you've desired, you know, has finally come to pass. It's just like, oh, awesome.
The will to win and belief in himself was instilled at an early age.
Well, it all stems back to a story in 1986. My mom was reading an article on Freddie Spencer, and he was a road race world champion at the time. And my mom just had a vision from the Lord, and the Lord just said, your son is going to be world champion one day. And, you know, we're strong Christians, and I've always just stuck by that and believed that.
Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Marty Reed from Las Vegas in the final round as we take a look at our leader at heat number 2 of the qualifying, Jeremy McGrath. It's been Jeremy since the very first few instants of this race, through the whoops, and he took the lead going from 3rd to 1st. In a great move.
And you have to really want it. You have to want to be there. And the crowd going, come on, do something right there. He's all business, but you know, in this last lap, as loud as these people are, he's going to give them something. And you can see, you can usually tell early in the day where Jeremy's head is and how aggressive he is and how he attacks the track. And he attacked it. And he attacked that first lap, let everyone know, hey, I'm going to be the guy.
Here's our battle for second place. Larry Ward, Team Suzuki on the number 4 machine, battling it out with Honda of Troy's number 100, Michael Brown. And Mike Brown wants to show a good impression with his one-year contract, Honda of Troy, coming up.
Neither one of these guys, Ward or Brown, able to get over that triple.
Ward's got a lot on the line here tonight. He could move all into 3rd place in the point standings with the idol Ezra Lusk and Kevin Windham.
Finishing 2nd a couple of years ago.
1995, that was the highest ever for a non-factory rider. 2nd behind Jeremy McGrath at that time. Larry Ward, number 4, was riding for Nolene Yamaha.
Put in a fine ride. I think that was Jeff EMIG's first Supercross win.
That's right. That's the night the lights went out. And it was a sweep 1, 2, 3 with Yamahas. There's our leader, Jeremy McGrath, weeding his way through the lappers.
It's a new section right there as they cross the starting line. It's almost up against a bank turn, and they put some jumps in there, little bumps there. They look more like moguls. They're not staggered, consistent like what you get through the whoop section. Given the rider, I mean, these guys are really going slow through there, so I know it's slippery. You don't get a good run out of the corner either.
Jeremy McGrath with 6 wins on the year. He's had 11 podiums in 15 races. And this could be his 10th heat win. Mike LaRocco, number 5, Factory Connection Honda. LaRocco moving into 4th. So Buddy Anthonez just couldn't hang on, David.
Well, I think Probably felt like he had it there for a while, but LaRocco, like we've seen so many times, he comes from so far off the pace. You look back over your shoulder as a rider. I can remember looking over my shoulder and thinking, yeah, no one's really threatening me here. And then a few laps later, you get somebody like Johnson or Hanna that can make up so much time in a lap. That's what LaRocco always does.
White flag lap. Jeremy McGrath just going over the finish line as we see Michael Brown. And there's Mike LaRocco, number 5, going down. Colliding with Sebastian Waugh is a chaparral. It looks like Jimmy Button. Yes, it is. Button, more hard luck. Away from our cameras right now as we see Jeremy McGrath circling the circuit.
Jeremy just went by on the opposite straightaway. He'll come around and see those guys laying there. I don't think they're going to get up very quick. They're taking their time. That's a trick section right through there. That's the section that Jeremy's going to make a right here. He'll roll this, double these.
And the yellow flags are out, you see there, for Jimmy Button, Jeremy McGrath's teammate.
He's been doubling the first set, and then he triples the middle section through there, and of course that time taking it easy because of the riders down.
McGrath, Ward, and Brown, the top 3 orders. The checker flag waves in the air for number 2, Jeremy McGrath. What was it like on the bike? Marty finds out after these words. In 16 races, Jeremy McGrath now has won 10 heat races, showing his dominance not only in winning the points title last week in Dallas, but also just starting it off with great performances in the qualifying heat. As you see here, McGrath was followed by Ward, Brown, and LaRocco, but with the big guys, Marty Reed.
Yeah, and you know, in Las Vegas, Elvis Presley made it famous with blue suede shoes as one of his tunes. Get the shot of the hat, because we have to do that, but take the hat off. Look, what got into you on this?
Well, we got a little blue hair going. It's kind of the last race. It's really a relaxed race, and something Randy and I plan on doing for a while if we won the championship, and just kind of fun, you know. MIBs, men in blue, figured we'd color our hair.
Talk about the race. You clicked off a 52.9 by my watch.
Yeah, you know, I felt really good out there. The track's really slick because it's such hard-packed dirt and they had a little water on it, but overall I felt really good. I think it's one of those nights where you need to stay really relaxed because if you slip up, you're going to go down.
Okay, want to hum a few bars of blue suede shoes for us? Take us to commercial break?
I'm not a singer.
He is one heck of a rider, guys.
He knows his place, right, David Bailey?
He does. He's smart to stay out of that. I'd really like to see a blue goatee, too. That'd be good.
The semifinals are coming up, and that spells opportunity for a lot of riders with so many injuries that we have in the 250 field. Stay tuned.
It's been an unbelievable year. Jeff EMIG gets ready. We're underway. The final race of the season. Henry makes the $1,000 run, 900 Pro Race Whole Shot Award.
See Jeremy right there, just still in the same place he was the lap before. Everyone's going about the same pace right now because the track's so slippery.
Great jump shot right here. Gives you an idea how high these guys can fly.
I was going to ask why. He knew coming in it was going to be a real long shot for Jeremy. It's starting to get longer. He wants him to pass EMIG. I think this is a mental thing as much as anything, but he's got to get by Lutz first.
And the crowd is standing, giving Doug Henry a great cheer as he takes the checkers for the 3rd time of the 1997 season. And here is your new champion. The City of Lights lighted up for Jeff EMIG.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Marty Reed, as we enjoyed that Honda flashback and getting ready for semifinal number 1. First of all, a look at the Suzuki track map, David.
Well, right off the bat on the starting line, you've got to jump a few rollers in there just to break it up into a left-hand first corner onto the first triple, cross the starting line to another triple, and then it gets hard. The whoop section down and back with a double into the turn and coming out. These are deep and packed like cement. And then what I like to call a timing straightaway. We've seen already Henry and McGrath tripling through the air. The only guys who can do it consistent. Right turn through some moguls and then another right turn onto the finish.
32nd board is up here for semifinal number 1. Sean Kalos just missed going to the main by 1 place out of the qualifying heat, along with arena crosser Michael Jones, Grayson Goodman also in this one, Pedro Gonzalez, Koi Kita, a national champion out of Japan, Jeff Matasevich, a 250 winner here, Cliff Palmer, also who's done a good job in the last few 250s trying to make the final. So the board is sideways. First semifinal underway from Las Vegas. Whoa, what a charge for the whole shot. Goodman, number 60. He's got the lead coming out of the corner. And it's Michael Jones, number 52, in second place.
Well, Brad Woolsey, number 130, looked like he had the whole shot, couldn't control that first corner, and then all the arena cross guys got through there good. Matasevich in good shape.
And the old-time veteran, number 141, don't let him fool you, Sean Kalos. He's in third right now, really pressing for second place.
One of the taller riders out there, too, and through this whoop section, he should be pretty good. Those are so deep, it's a little easier for the tall guys.
Out in front, number 60, Grayson Goodman. Always got good starts in the arena cross this year.
He's familiar with Mike Jones, too, who's all over him right now. He knows exactly what to expect from Mike.
Boy, they go bar to bar in that great series. Michael Jones cutting to the inside. Jeff Matasevich right now is in fourth. And remember, the top 5 go on to the main event. Cliff Palmer's in fifth right now. Michael Jones, the leader. Goodman in second place. Sean Kalos holding on to third. Here goes Kalos with the big leap. He tripled, and Goodman didn't.
That first lap in the books, Art, 55.7 lap time, so a couple seconds off the factory guys, but one thing that's good about this semi right now is without the factory riders in there, all these guys are pretty evenly matched. It's still anybody's race right now.
141.60. 141 is Sean Kalos, 60 is Grayson Goodman. And Matasevich is losing some time to them with Cliff Palmer's fifth place in danger right now.
Also got Gonzalez coming behind Palmer. He's capable of catching up and making a race for the final transfer spot.
Gonzalez once finishing second in 125 action and then went through a rash of injuries. The real battle right now for second place. Michael Jones in front. Sean Kalos holding on to second with Grayson Goodman in third. Matasevich in fourth. And Palmer still holding on to fifth. Good close racing here in the semifinal. We'll be right back with the conclusion of our opening semifinal round after this. It's still pretty much a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 freight train.
I think Kalos is kind of banking on the fact that if he gets close enough to Jones right there through the whoop section, he's got a trick line coming out of that first section where he jumps about the last 4. A taller rider can let that bike soak up those deep bumps a little bit better than the shorter guy.
Pedro Gonzalez is starting to make a move now on the final transfer spot. As we see Kalos, number 141, in second behind Jones.
That's what I was talking about, how he gets out of there pretty clean, but he's got to go wide to do it, so he loses the time, then he makes it back up.
There's Jones, 52.
That's a tough section through there, Art. The timing's got to be perfect. Where Button went down, that's what's sending him to the semi, which we'll see next.
White flag is out. Mike Jones trying to hold on to this semifinal round. And don't forget, also coming up from Las Vegas, the spotlight will be on the 125 shootout. And the old guy, John Dow, 32. Hold off the rampaging teenager, Ricky Carmichael. The East versus the West. That ought to be interesting, David.
It's going to be for sure. I don't think there's any guessing about it. And I think Ron Cotta could just jump right in there and spoil it for everybody.
I'll tell you, there's 6 riders and there's only 5 spots to qualify. We're looking at number 52, Mike Jones, out in front. Whoa, little fishtail there. Sean Kalos in second. Goodman in third, but Gonzalez is really putting the pressure on Palmer in the final transfer spot. Here they come toward the checkered flag. It's Jones, Kalos, Pedro Gonzalez to the inside. But Pedro goes back to 6th place. Palmer holds on to 5th on that final qualifying out of semifinal 1. We'll be back in a moment. So Michael Jones gets his best finish in a semifinal round trying to qualify for a 250 main event in Supercross. Jones, Kalos, Goodman, Matasevich, and Palmer. Those 5 qualifying for the main event out of our first semifinal. Let's go down to Marty.
Well, if you follow the Arena Cross Series, Mike Jones is very familiar, but first time you and I've had a chance to talk with a semifinal win. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Like I said, I'm just out there to put on a show for these fans. I'm riding good tonight. I got better bike this weekend than I did last weekend. As far as competition motors really helping out. I got some great suspension by Pro Action going through the whoops, and it's just all working out for me. You know, like I said, I'm out there having fun. I think that's what shows, and that's why I'm up front.
David Bailey made comment about some of the jumps midway through the race. Did you know how close those guys were to you while you were making those show jumps?
Yeah, Mike Jones is here to put on a show. Whether I win or lose, it doesn't matter to me. I'm out there to do my best, but my best is also putting on a show for the fans. If I go home with more fans in Las Vegas than I came here with, that's a defeat, or that's one of my goals this weekend.
Well, it was good enough to be first place in semi number 1.
I don't know, but I think it was Michael Jones who did a jump contest. He left the bike in midair and won the jump contest.
He is good at that. He's definitely a great showman, and I understand that's a great strategy.
We mentioned a lot of injuries, giving opportunity to a lot of riders. Let's take a look at the 250 injured list. Lesk out with a shoulder, Wyndham out with a shoulder, Emig, Huffman, Hughes, Albertine, Lawrence, Ferry. The notables, 8 notables out of this race because of injury. Earlier, Marty talked with Kevin Wyndham.
One of the biggest heartbreaks of the season happened in the last 2 rounds to this man, Kevin Wyndham. A championship within your grasp, and boy, now you're coming back from injury. You've lost 15 pounds. What's the physical status, and when are you going to be able to ride again?
Well, it's a separated shoulder, and you know, I've done some ligament damage top and bottom, and I've made a lot of progress in just 1 week. So I'm going to shoot for Glen Helen, show up there and ride and see how it feels. But you know, like I said, if I make as much progress the second week as I did the first week, it'll be good.
Okay, some anxious riders getting ready for our second semifinal round, and we've got some interesting competition here, just like in the first semi, David.
Well, I think what we're going to see is a evenly matched semi number 2, but you got a couple guys in there that should stand out. Buddy Antonez, who just won that Arena Cross championship, and also Jimmy Button. He got collided with somebody in that timing section, went down. I would expect him to win this thing.
Well, he's made his mechanic a busy guy in the last, and getting stuck in the gate. One rider, looks like Terlicki. Yes, Terlicki got stuck in the gate as Jimmy Button gets the whole shot. Jimmy Button, number 11 on the Chaparral. Ryan Huffman. That's Buddy Antonez in second place. Moving up to third is Anthony Pocaroba, number 40. And he's being challenged by Waugh, number 80.
Pocaroba just going for the double. Getting past. Still making a race of it, though.
Boy, Button really in the advantage, getting through those whoops. Has now got a 5-bike lead on Buddy Antonez, number 26. Bar-to-bar battle. Waugh, Antonez. Waugh, the more experienced throughout the season in Supercross, takes second place.
Be anxious to see if he can stay with Button. This will be a good practice for him here in the semi to try to learn as much as he can from Button and figure out what that pace is going to be, because I have a feeling Button's pace is going to be pretty much in line with what they're doing in the 250 main. Somewhere in the low 54s. If he can hold that with Button, that'll give him a lot of confidence. It'll be another little stepping stone for him going into the final race of the year. Make a statement.
Waugh, Antonez in second and third, with Jeff EMIG in fourth. And on the bubble is Jason Partridge, and he's got some hometown fans. He's right from Las Vegas. He's in the 5th spot as the battles between Waugh and Antonez. Waugh, number 80, in second place now.
He finally pulled out some time right there. Just a little bit better timing. That's why I call it that. If you put the bike in the perfect spot, nose down and land just on the downside, don't touch the tops of those, you get through there a lot quicker. That's what Waugh did, pulled away a little bit, and that first lap from Button was a 55, so see if he can crank it up a little bit more.
Okay, the battle's on for third still now, as having to hold off is Buddy Antonez. Buddy Antonez trying to hold off Jeff EMIG, number 72, out of Humboldt, Texas.
And you see as they go across that starting line, that big left sweeper is what it's turned out to be, really. They're just careful on the throttle. You can't just get wide open right there. The back end will slide right out from underneath him.
Boy, Jimmy's not letting up, even though he's got a big lead on the pack. We see here is Waugh having trouble in the whoops. EMIG moves in. Waugh trying to regain it. Antonez, number 26, in second place. I was mentioning Jimmy Button is really cracking off some good lap times.
Well, I think that's what you should do, is go out there and for 4 or 5 laps in the very beginning of this race to establish a lead so that if anything does happen, he can still pick up the bike and make it into the main event.
The race to the checkers when we come back. AMA Supercross is brought to you by Dunlop, Simply the best for your bike. Here in Las Vegas, there's Button going through the whoops.
Just touching the tops.
Oh, that's beautiful the way he skips the top.
A lot of momentum through that corner, right back through these, just touching the tops. And I'll tell you what, it's just about impossible to do that consistently, and that's what he's been doing these last couple of laps. He's taken his lap time down to a high 53, so the same lap times as his teammate McGrath.
DeMent in second place, Antonez holding on to third.
Antonez coming up a little bit short right there at the end of the timing section. And these moguls right here, as they come out and prepare for the finish line plateau, they're just like cement right now. Blue groove all the way through there.
Voss is starting to make a move now on Waugh for fourth. As we take a look now, number 26, Buddy Antonez. He's put together a couple of fine runs in his first race here in Supercross action this year. Here's Jimmy Button, our leader.
And Art, check this out. The last lap, 52.9.
Whoa, 52.9. Three straight podiums for Jimmy came within 4 points of second place midway in the season. Then the bottom dropped out. Take a look at the lead now here for Jimmy Button on Jeff DeMent, number 72, and 26, Buddy Antonez. White flag lap.
Voss still in a battle. He's got Voss right there.
Voss number 46. DeMent number 72 in second. There's our leader.
Button right here, just working his way, staying on the real high side of that seat. Oh, throws a little, I don't know what the heck they call that thing, Art. I guess it's a something. A can maybe?
Jimmy Button, 8th in points. Still looking for his first Supercross victory.
I'll tell you what, I don't really get excited about thinking about being 25, 30 feet up in the air and sticking my leg through and putting it on the other side of the bike. If you land like that, that's film at 11. He's checking this section out right here. That's where he was tripling through the middle. He's got that wired. It's an advantage sometimes to go to the semi and get things dialed in. His lap times there were as fast as McGrath, so he's on pace.
The checkers for Jimmy. So Jimmy Button takes our second semifinal round, and Marty Reed will be moving over to talk with Jimmy when we come back. So 18 riders have now qualified for the main event as Marty on the victory podium takes a look, and we take a look at the top 5 finishers. Jimmy Button, Jeff DeMent, Buddy Antonez, Jean-Sébastien Waugh, and Voss all making it into the main event out of our semifinal round. Let's get to Marty.
Yeah, I'm down here with Jimmy. I've got some good news for you. Your fast time on that lap, on that race, 52.9, which matches our best time with Jeremy in his heat race.
Not bad. That sounds pretty good. Hopefully, we can take Chaparral 1-2. We haven't done it in 8 weeks, I think, so it's about time we do it again.
The guys were talking about that stretch where you put some podium finishes together, then the bottom fell out. You feel like it's coming back?
Yeah, I feel great. I've had a great week this week. My body feels 100% again, which it hasn't been for almost 2 months now, so I feel great. Chaparral 1-800 Collect Mazda Yamaha is just working awesome tonight. Bridgestone tires working great. Everyone's coming together, and I've been close a couple times, and I got one last 20-lap main event to finally do it. So I'm going to put everything I got into it tonight and hopefully come away with the win.
We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Well, celebration begins here in Las Vegas for the 125 shootout. But can Jeremy McGrath make it win number 7 of the 98 season, or will Doug Henry continue the 4-stroke history-making process? The 250s are coming up next. A Suzuki Profile with rider Larry Ward.
If you would have asked me 8 years ago if I thought I'd win another race the next 8 years, I would have definitely thought I would have, but I didn't, and I'm really glad I could come back to Suzuki and get another win.
Larry Ward looking at the checkers. Larry Ward!
It was an emotional moment for Team Suzuki and Larry Ward in Tampa this year. A 12-year veteran, Ward hadn't won a Supercross since 1990.
The first one was so special. It was so emotional. I was in front of my home crowd. I was young. All my family was there. All my friends from high school were there. But this last win meant a lot to me. It's been a long time coming. I've been riding really good. To earn the factory ride back and then to go ahead and win a race again, it felt really, really good.
Tampa was the perfect thank you Suzuki, for Larry Ward had done it the hard way. After 4 seasons with Team Suzuki, he was dropped from the factory team, only to become one of the few, if not the only rider, to get another chance with the same factory.
You know, when I lost my factory ride, there was some reasons why I should have. I wasn't riding very well. I wasn't as strong as I should have been, but the 4 or 5 years I didn't have a factory ride, I rode for some very competitive, good support teams and put in a lot of hard work, got a lot of good results, and Suzuki rewarded me with the factory ride again this year.
Dealing with rejection, Ward refused to give up. His second-place finish in the championship points race in 1995 was the highest finish for a non-factory rider in the history of Supercross.
I learned how to ride a little bit differently. I learned how to be able to ride a lot faster with half the energy. Plus, I got a lot stronger.
This year will mark the 8th time in 9 seasons Larry Ward will have finished in the top 10. Ward is anxious now for the National Outdoors.
I've learned how to ride that 250 pretty good. Last year I finished 4th, had a lot of podium finishes outdoor, and I can't wait to get this Suzuki on an outdoor track this year.
Art Ekman and David Bailey after that first heat. Boy, what a freight train, what excitement.
It was unbelievable too, and to see Doug Henry come from behind like that, he's obviously found places to pass out there. He passed everybody, pulled away, and he's looking pretty psyched about riding that 4-stroke here again, making it 2 for 2.
And in the second qualifying heat, Jeremy McGrath went out to prove something, even though he's got the title.
In the first lap. I mean, this is why this guy is the 5-time Supercross champion. In the first lap, not the best start, but all the way into the lead, taking advantage. He's always in the right place to take advantage of somebody else's mishap and then pull away from there, setting the fast time.
As we take a look at the 250 Suzuki point standings, despite McGrath already being awarded the #1 championship plate, there are still a couple of meaningful points battles adding up to big bucks for this year's record-breaking points fund. Ward, for instance, has a shot at 3rd. He needs a 7th or better with Lusk and Wyndham injured. LaRocco's capable of moving up the ladder if Ward falters. Pichon and Henry are separated by only 1 point for 6th place. Let's go down trackside now. Marty Reed, what about that track?
Well, David mentioned earlier about this staggered section right off of the starting line. But come on over here with me. You can see how staggered it is, but look at how this dark groove, this is actually down to black here, guys, and it is really getting chunky down in here. You sink down into this thing, it's pounding the suspension. Really tough going.
We were thinking on going into this race with lots of opportunity for riders who aren't accustomed to being there, David Bailey, but these two, you can't deny the fact that they're ready to take the lead.
Well, they really showed in their heat races by going out and, in Henry's case, charging from behind and passing everybody and winning, having that big grin on his face. Didn't seem to take much out of him. He likes the track here in Vegas, and Jeremy, just that killer instinct really to go out there and just dominate. It really takes away from what I was thinking may happen here with some of the other guys missing, allowing guys like Michael Craig and perhaps Larry Ward and maybe even Brown, LaRocco, Lamson, some of those guys that can sneak a win in here before the end of the seasons. Yeah.
And you got to think of Michael Craig because of this hard cement-like surface in Las Vegas. Tony Berluti, Pichon's mechanic. When you saw him go out of the shot, it's showtime. Go McGrath from the stands. He's popular here.
Now you got that 4-stroke, that powerful 4-stroke on the far inside gate. And you know, to start right next to that thing, that's where Jeremy is. They got the inside spots. It's probably kind of tough to hear the engine revving on your own bike. Get a good start. See what happens.
Okay, we're set to go. The final round of 1998 is underway. And look at the pack. Pichon gets a pretty good jump through there. Number 16 has the lead with Henry in second.
Lamson's gone down with Button. Looks like Grayson Goodman and DeMint caught in that pile up. Had a good opportunity for Pichon, who was quick in the practice yesterday.
Michael Craig in 3rd. McGrath is in 5th.
Don't forget
Mike
Pichon.
Jones is between them.
Yeah, Pichon is an excellent hard-packed rider, but here comes Doug.
Henry to the inside. Pichon tries to come back, but Henry goes right through the ropes.
Replay the start. Watch Lamson gets all sideways, locks bars with somebody, has no chance of saving it, goes down. It's just a domino effect right there.
Well, we've got 4 outstanding hard-pack riders. 1, 2, 3, 4 as Jeremy battles to get into 3rd. It is Henry out in front. Pichon in 2nd. Craig in 3rd. McGrath in 4th.
Great start for Jones, who sits right behind McGrath right now. I'll bet you he can't remember the last time, if ever, he was sitting behind McGrath in a main event.
And Ward is behind him. There you go, Henry in the lead, number 19. Looks like they're skating on ice on that blue surface.
They are. 52.1, fastest of the night. So that's These guys have stepped it up. The track is
Oh,
getting better.
PICHON looking good in those whoops. Henry on the smooth throttle of that four-stroke.
Oh, what PICHON's doing is, because Henry's taking the inside, he's going wide, getting a run at it.
On this hard pack, David Bailey, you've got to really finesse things, don't you?
Well, I always like the hard pack because it takes throttle control. You can't just come out of the corner and just nail it wide open. You got to feed the clutch. You got to feather the throttle a little bit to get that power to hook up. If you just gas it wide open, you could slide out, or too much wheel spin, you're not going forward. That's what's so good about the four-stroke. We found out here last year. And all three of those guys sit behind Doug right now are excellent with throttle control.
There's Lamson talking with Dan Bentley, and he is out of the race. Mike Brown is right next to him.
Yeah, my fear about this for Steve is that he's had a few good races here in the last few weeks. McGrath moving up.
Jeremy McGrath cuts inside. He's got it. In front of Michael Craig.
Yeah, going back to Lamson, though, Art, just when we seem to be putting things together heading into the outdoor season, this could really put a damper on next week.
Now, how difficult is it for Jeremy McGrath to try to catch up with that four-stroke? Because the broader power band gives him that smooth acceleration.
I don't think it's going to be tough for Jeremy to catch him. First, he's got to get around PICHON and hope that Doug isn't gone. That's number one. If he can do it, number two, catching him won't be too big of a deal, but passing him is a whole other story, because Doug is tough to pass here, and most of the lines he's got are on the inside, so he's going to have to go wide.
Let's go down to Marty. He's with Lammy.
Yeah, Steve, it looks like your left wrist or fingers.
Yeah, it's actually my index finger here. It's kind of, I don't know, I think I just jammed it. I hope it's all right, though. But I couldn't use my clutch very good, so hope it's all right.
Sorry to see you out.
McGrath is only 3 seconds off the lead of Henry, but McGrath there having a little problem getting around PICHON.
Now, McGrath's got better lines here and there, but because of the line PICHON's using, it's not really working in Jeremy's favor, but he's good at adjusting, and I'm sure that when he recognizes that Doug is not pulled away to a lead that he can't catch. As long as he keeps him in contact, he'll figure out what he's got to do to get around PICHON. Be patient. And Craig is still there.
Craig is coming up in fourth. There you see PICHON in second. That's McGrath. And the Chaparral Yamaha, and that's Craig bouncing through our picture. But our leader is Doug Henry.
That time, Craig McGrath getting on the brakes, turning tight, and get through that loop section on the inside. Smart. Now, PICHON, timing, he's starting to get him, put pressure on the leader right now. He's sort of left McGrath for the moment.
No one has 2 victories in Las Vegas. Before we break away, let's take a look at the Dunlop trivia question. The last time Yamaha won a Supercross championship before this season was in 1980. Who was the rider? The answer when we return. Welcome back. The answer to the Dunlop trivia question, who was the last rider before Jeremy McGrath to win a Supercross title on a Yamaha? It was Mike Bell. Bell, one of 3 Yamahas in the top 10 that year. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Our 250 main event is underway. If you tuned in late and missed the 125 shootout, it was Ricky Carmichael victorious. But right now, Doug Henry on the four-stroke. After the win last year in Las Vegas, the very first in four-stroke history, or in Supercross history, I should say, is trying to hold off Jeremy McGrath and Michael PICHON. PICHON, McGrath, PICHON still with the edge.
Well, you know, I've said before that I haven't seen McGrath win that many races that were real close. This is close. He's got a chance. Look at that.
Oh! Give me some Vaseline. I'm coming through, baby.
That was unbelievable. PICHON is, I think he's got to be going, where was the room there?
PICHON protecting the line, beautiful.
Yeah, he was on the inside. Now Doug, he could hear that crowd react. He knows what's going on. That four-stroke is so loud. Jeremy said last week he couldn't hear his bike. Here's the look. Jeremy coming down that double.
That was a gamble.
Yeah, it was. It paid off, though.
If PICHON would have gotten there a little quicker, he'd have landed on him. It's the battle for the lead underway. The crowd is on their feet here in Las Vegas. 40,000 strong.
They're getting excited because McGrath went to the inside right before the whoop section there. Look at McGrath tripling that. Making up some more time. like I said, catching Doug, I know Jeremy's got the speed and the ability to do it, but to pass him is a whole nother deal. And what he can do is keep that pressure on, keep the crowd in this, and force Doug into a mistake.
Henry, very steady. Remember, he led to, what, 18 laps in one race, only to falter at the end.
And you can hear that thing. It's about all you can hear when you get that close to that four-stroke. But Jeremy got plenty of practice at it last week in Dallas, so I know he knows what. Here he goes again to the inside.
Look at the power, though. And he likes that right line on the whoop section, up high.
Yeah, Doug. And the only problem is with Jeremy sneaking up that inside like that, both of them going for the triple here, so he won't be able to make the pass through that section. But if Jeremy keeps taking that inside and Doug makes one mistake, hits one wrong bump, loses the momentum, then Jeremy will have that pass made through the whoop.
Henry with 4 250 wins in Supercross in his career. Is looking for his first win this year. He's had third places in Seattle, Pontiac, and Texas, 2 of the last 3 races. He's got his hands full with the champion right on his tail.
And that sweeper through the mechanics area right there is just like riding on a street. It's just knobs, rubber laid down.
5:06.
The lap times have come down a couple seconds now. These guys they mean business.
McGrath trying to get close enough to block past Henry, but wasn't quite close enough that time.
Doug is a fighter. It's the last race of the season. Not that many laps to go for the entire year in terms of Supercross, and he's not going to give it to Jeremy.
2 Yamahas up front. PICHON, Team Suzuki in 3rd. Craig still in 4th with Ward in 5th. Gonzalez has moved up to 6th. Oh, McGrath! He's taking the breath of these fans away.
And that's what I like about Jeremy, is the fact that he can make it a little change like that the last minute and think, I'm going to take the inside right here real quick, see what happens, and still make the triple. Most of the guys you've seen taking the inside right there, they get fouled up in the timing before it, and they don't have the run at it. And that time, Doug covering that inside line.
Plus the lapper on the outside line. McGrath really couldn't get any speed up high on the outside. Let's go to Marty.
Guys, one of the things I'm noticing down here in the 2 corners that I can see, it looks like the 4-stroke comes off the corners better with less wheel spin. And I don't know if it's because of the bike, because of the hard pack, or Doug Henry has just got this thing grooved.
It's a combination of all 3, I believe. He did good here last year. He likes the hard pack. That bike does hook up a little bit better, and Doug has excellent throttle control.
We're at the halfway point. 2 Yamahas up front. Yamaha's the only factory to make every podium this year. They have 9 wins, 3 different riders winning. If Henry wins, that would be a 4th rider on a Yamaha. And that hasn't happened in the history of Supercross.
It's been a good season for the blue guys. Jeremy with his blue hair closing in. Lappers will definitely perfect this race.
LaRocco number 5, 19, about ready to lap Mike LaRocco.
PICHON and Craig, I really thought that actually a couple laps ago that they were out of it, but they are pretty close still.
3rd and 4th, PICHON and Craig with Ward not too far back. McGrath gives a little flick. And here comes Henry. Oh, he hooks up on that flat track style, but McGrath into the triple. Even talking to his good friend. Look out for the lappers.
Jeremy looking over like, is this fun or what? I gotta have it.
Here comes Henry to the outside. McGrath's got the edge of the turn, and Henry goes down on the contact. LaRocco looks down at him, and McGrath is our new leader.
Oh, Henry's got to be.
And it takes forever, but he's got a good technique. At least that 4-stroke has already started and back on the track, but
I told you he'd fight, but I just didn't have any idea he'd go down like that. I said lappers would affect the race. I was right there, definitely. I don't think Mike anticipated what was going on. He was trying to stay out of the way, but it didn't work. And McGrath is so smart to have made that pass. Look at Doug, comes back in on the outside. It was working perfect. He made a great move, but LaRocco was just in the way.
As we move back to our leader, Jeremy McGrath. McGrath just battling as hard and as heavy as Doug Henry. Goes through the whoops on the outside now, unmolested from any type of lapping obstacle.
Here's what the danger is, though, for Jeremy. He used up some energy. I can't believe. I mean, he's got to be in excellent shape to not be tired right now. I know he's feeling it a little bit. When you get in a battle like that, it just takes a little bit extra out of you. That's what Carmichael said after the 125 main, battling with Dowd, and PICHON's not that far behind, so if McGrath backs it off a little too much, he could be in jeopardy of getting passed by Mikel.
Mikel is 5 seconds in back of number 2. PICHON, Craig, Henry, Ward, Gonzalez, Button, and Waugh are top 8. Okay, let's go back to Marty.
Yeah, we had to get the other half of the men in blue hair, and wow, what a battle they had going on there.
Yeah, well, I mean, coming into this race, Henry won it last year. We knew he was going to be strong. We just came here, wanted to win this race. Yeah, wrapped up the championship last week, but we didn't win the race, so he wants to go out on top. So.
51-second laps, he's flying.
Yeah, and they haven't ran that all night, so I know they were going really good right then.
He's got to get back to work, guys. Love that hair.
Yeah, the blue sunglasses to match.
That is the bluest hair I've ever seen. This is
a little bit better dye job, don't you think, the Jeremy guy?
So. I saw Jeremy last night.
He had blonde hair last night.
Yeah, Cirque du Soleil. I mean, what these guys do is pretty much the equivalent of what I saw out there. Just the amazing balance of what these guys are able to do in traffic over these jumps. It's really fun to watch when they get in a battle like that. You know, when Jeremy and Doug were side by side over that triple, they had to be grinning at each other going, this is good. It's too bad it had to end the way it did. Looks like as he comes out of that corner, he can glance over to the other side of the racetrack, see PICHON coming the other way, and he knows as long as that stays about the same, he can continue to run this comfortable pace. I don't think PICHON's fitness is good enough to let him close on McGrath. He'd have to be riding a lot better, and I don't think that's going to happen here tonight.
If McGrath could hold on to this lead, he would win the championship then in the final tally for the history books by 51 points over Ezra Lusk. Lusk, incidentally, is feeling better. He's going to be ready for the outdoor season. Wyndham is just hopeful that he can ride at Glen Helen to open up the outdoors.
Usually this guy on my left is in 4 wheels, not 2. Paul Tracy from Team Cool Green, big motorcycle fan.
No, big motorcycle fan. It's now my home state. Now I just moved here actually yesterday, so a little bit of a busy weekend, but with the race here, I couldn't miss it.
You own a bike, don't you?
Yeah, I got a KX 250, you know, so it's, I like to go riding. Not during the season though. I can't get in any trouble.
Do we ever get you flying through these jumps?
No, I'm gonna stick to. I flew at Long Beach on 4 wheels, so I'm gonna stick to 4 wheels because I can fly those pretty good sometimes. But I'll stick to what I'm doing.
Hey, good luck at the rest of the season. Good talking to you again.
Thank you.
McGrath over the triple, heading into the whoop section. A little bit of a nosedive there. No big deal. Takes it in stride. Stays on the tops of those whoops. Guy, I mean, there was some doubt after last season and came out. Heck, I had some. I picked him, I think, 3rd to come in this year, and I just didn't think that he'd be able to get around EMIG with the role EMIG had and go into a privateer team like Chaparral. And boy, has he proven everybody that that's a great team, and he is a sensational rider.
LaRocco and PICHON. There's PICHON 16 to the inside, making the pass. PICHON in 2nd, Craig in 3rd, and Henry now is in 4th.
A ways back, though. The lead has shrunk, but I think that Jeremy is being a little bit cautious right now, deciding to take those amazingly fast lap times up just a little bit to a pace that he can maintain.
3.6, and PICHON cases it. Good shot by the cameraman.
What a shot. His hand came off the handlebar. That's scary. Ouch. When you come up short like that, the first thing I think about is wrists.
Yep, and he's already got a sore wrist. It was sore casing it in Dallas, and it was one he broke several years ago. Craig is right on his heels.
That's going to be tough for him. And here's another look. Watch when he comes. You can tell right here something's wrong. He pulls the back end down just to get the front end over it. Boy, what a save.
PICHON looking for his best finish of the year. As we go back to our leader, Jeremy McGrath, he has 3 fourth-place finishes. So PICHON still holding on to 2nd with Craig in 3rd. This would be Craig's 2nd third-place finish of the year, should he finish up at the checkers.
Boy, what a different scene this is this year for Jeremy. Last year, trying to I just hoped something would happen to EMIG so he could win that title. It didn't. EMIG did what he had to do to clinch it. Jeremy just riding around. I forget what he got. It doesn't really matter at this point. But here, totally different deal. Already wrapped it up. Going to add another win.
Jeremy, yeah, excuse me, David. Jeremy continued to keep his string alive of when he gets a points lead, he has never lost it.
That's a pretty strong stat. You know,
it really
when
is.
You're racing with guys, you line up on the starting line and they're looking at you going, geez, how the heck am I going to?
With 5 races to go in the year, David, that was his biggest lead of 59 points. That was Minnesota. Then he lost 30 points in 3 races. And there was a shadow of doubt that creeped in, which was good for the sport. But Jeremy said he felt an awful lot of pressure at that time.
It was a lot, but he answered it. And you know what happened is to see what happened to Kevin Windham and to Lusk and their injuries this year. Yeah, there's people that are saying, and so have I, that at times they were faster than Jeremy. Well, you don't win 5 Supercross championships because you're fast. You know, you may get hurt 5 times because you're fast. Jeremy knows when to pick his spots.
We got a battle going on right here. The white flag is out, but Henry is really charging on Craig. Craig number 13, Henry to the inside. Henry wants that podium. Craig boxing him out, protecting the line. But look at Henry. Oh my goodness, what a move by Henry. So yeah, you blocked me out, but you got to contend with me coming out of this thing. Henry moves into 3rd. He's back on the podium. And PICHON is not that far away as we're on the leader on the final lap of the 250 season.
Doug can thank Jeremy for that pass. That's where he got him. That's what he used to make his move. And he's still close to PICHON.
Jeremy McGrath, number 2, the first rider ever to win the Supercross titles on 2 different brands. You talk about versatility. No one has been able to do that before. The checkers for the champion. As he goes out, a winner, the fireworks go off. And Michael PICHON finishing up with one of his finest performances of the year. The celebration of a champion. Jeremy McGrath, his 7th win of the season. Career win number 52. And the 10th win for a Yamaha on the season, the most in 1 year since 1980, when they had 17 races and Yamaha was on top of the podium 12 times. So the party has started early here in Las Vegas, David Bailey.
It's going to be a big one. I don't think anybody's going to get sleep tonight. I know Jeremy won't. He's going to be up celebrating this, savoring it. Never been done. It may never be done again.